in Diablo 3 would be Tristram. So like this is like the first part of the game. I think we're about to get in, so wrong button. There we go. Green Beacon? I don't know. Some amount of time, Justin. Right. Yes, seeing as there's no Crusader, my general default is Wizard Woman. Off. Don't know where to put the overlay just yet. I know about 7 my time sets in about 2.5 hours. Me and Chris will be getting together on Swartor. No, piss. I wanted to move stuff. Fine. I wanted to talk more about the game. Go away! Why are you telling me how to find in-app purchases in the middle of a fight? I guess they were expecting most people not to log out in the middle of a fight. Woo. Right. I don't think, biggest way to safety would be this way, but yeah. To be fair, the UI is actually fairly minimalist. So I'm just gonna, oh god, no, come here. You're gonna whack that in the corner. There we go. Everything else is where it wants to be. Good, cool. Yeah, how we doing? Game runs like a dream, by the way, which I wasn't expecting for a beta. I was expecting a beta to be significantly choppier. Jesus, I can't tell if this is like a bit of a grindy area because holy shit, they just don't end.
I'm not ready.
There we go. So the thing with the disintegrate is that it hurts more the longer you hold it on. Game is loud, and I can't. Technically, this game is online, so I can't pause it, which is weird to me. Yeah, here we are. Has he done it? Depends on how long we go for.
I need time to prepare that.
Although Chris did say earlier, if it turns into an MP, he'd still be down, so it's not outside the realms of possibility. But yeah, I've been in this zone for like a while. By which I mean like this little pit here. Down. And it just keeps spawning new guys for me to kill. So I found myself down here for like an hour yesterday because it just kept spawning new assholes to kill. Yeah. As I was saying. Unfortunately, I am only like level 8, which means I've only got like maybe 2 spells to play with. Banging. Yeah. Right. It would be available later because I probably need to do something. That's fine. That's right. It would probably turn into a later thing anyway. Also, there's crafting in this now. Weird to me. So yeah, if I can get us to town, I can explore the UI a bit for people. Like, it's weird, like, the Disintegrate isn't the best spell in the world, but I just enjoy the Gout of Flame. Because, I don't know what I was just saying, because, like, my history with Diablo is a weird one. Because, I played 3 for the first time on PS3. Honestly, yeah, it'll rubber band like that when you go in and out of town because.
Where are those girls of yours? Finally ran off to play night, have they?
They left for Corvalar this morning.
But
They'll have food, training.
just what League of Legends more.
Give them.
Is this? What's up, Ricky? Yeah, so you do actually see like other players here. Now these guys probably went all night. Although to be fair, most of the people I see tend to be around 21, so I think that's just like mean. To be fair, I forget how hard people go on Blizzard games because they do. I remember when 3 came out, people mained it all night. If you're wondering, no, I can't zoom it out any further than this, and I believe that is a strategic decision. But yeah, yeah, I played Diablo 3 primarily on PlayStation 3 when it came out for the first time, and I played Wizbro in that as well, which was just the fucking best. Because like the Wizard in 3, literally, like I wonder how far they go with it in this, because like the Wizard in 3 was like crazy. Like, they like you progressed into like throwing galaxies at people. The disintegrate turned into a laser, which was like one of the best decisions they ever made. Like the level of brain expansion that happened when you discovered runes, and it just changed all of your spells, like from like an elemental basis. Like there was this spell that you could, I suppose I should show you, but there was this spell that was like you sent bolts out from the ground, but if you put a rune on it, it turned into ice, which was weird, and it just caused your brain to just untether itself. So yeah, so the way this seems to want to run is this is, I would call it very basic, which, you know, makes sense, because what I would imagine they want to do, they want to kind of have these trees connect. So if you take enough points in 2 particular paths, you can combine spells. But, you know, we're playing what we got, and it seems that it's giving them to us in a specific order. Because it gave me the basic skill, which would normally be a generator, as it were, like a spell that would give you your resource, which for the case of the sorcerer is mana. I know for like the demon hunter, it was like hatred. And then the demon hunter too was like hatred in discipline, and you had to manage 2 resources, which was fun. I know the I remember the Crusader had Wrath, the Barbarian has Rage. You know, it's just your resource, and typically your left click or your basic ability would like generate that for you. But which I don't believe it does in this. It just kind of comes back naturally. But yeah, after exploring all 4 of these, like this, like for some reason, like the lightning spells just fucking slay. Like the ice spells, shockingly, I mean that's 27. I mean, like the ice spells, shocking. You know, they do a lot of slow, but not a lot of anything else. And the fire spells just suck. From what I can tell, the fire spells are primarily like damage over time and like area control, which is fine, I guess. It's fire, it makes sense. He has a follower. Cat, please. Ow. Dick. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, so that doesn't appear to be the case in this game. So your basic skill is just your, you know, you have nothing else left click to do damage. And then you get your core skill, which is like your resource spender. Now they do have these little like accents that come off the side here, which give you like, you know, pretty standard stat buffs. Like, there you go, casting a non-basic skill, so not one of these. 2% resistance to all elements, which I suppose goes up to, I want to say 6. And then this is maximum mana, and then this will probably be 4% when cast above 15 mana, which is just means that you have a little bit of burst, which is okay, I guess. Now, the only one I've really tried so far is Incinerate, which is the beam of fire. But for the sake of argument, I'm going to flip it to Fireball. Does it explode? It does explode, which is pretty nice, but how fast can I cast it? Okay, so not really is the answer. Frozen Orb. Oh, that's the spell that turned into galaxies in the last game, because like it started out as like an ice orb, like that. But when you put a rune on it, it converted it to arcane, and it was just throwing galaxies at people, and it did like ungodly amounts of damage. Shards. Ooh, that. Okay, it's not constant, but it's just a little bit of a burst. I mean, what was it? Deals increased damage to frozen enemies. Okay, can I freeze them with this? There you go. Increasing chance increased to 100% against frozen enemies. Flickering frostbolt makes frozen enemies vulnerable. It doesn't give me the ability to make them frozen. There you go. Chain lightning. Stream of lightning. And chains between nearby enemies. Well, as I say, chain lightning is historically fucking broken. And charge bolts. Oh, and that's like a wave thing forward. I mean, I like Incinerate because having the concentrated beam of arcane skullfuck is kind of part of the fantasy. And this is currently like strong enough to one-bot most small guys, which is primarily what I want it for. So what we'll do is we will continue with arcane, with Incinerate. What I would imagine will happen here, by the way, because of the size of this, there'll probably be like little accents that come off, and that'll be where your runes are. As it gets a little bit more complicated down here, where like the ability tree is one thing, and then this little tree off the side of it. And then it just comes down back to this, which is weird. Obviously, being beta, they're not quite sure what they want to do with it just yet. But okay, so we've got a defensive spell now. Now, typically I make this an ice spell because it makes them frozen, typically. Playing for 2 seconds, burning surrounding enemies. I'm immune for whilst it's on, but it's only like a 2-second immunity, so that's a kind of a skill button, if I would say. Like, you have to kind of time it with when the enemy attack lands, so you can mitigate the damage. But it's immunity, so you take nothing. But then, like, if it leaves like a area of insta skullfuck, then you're a bit fucked. You're a bit shit out of luck. Ooh, teleport. This is a big skill because teleport is like incredibly fucking important. At least it was in the last game. Like the ability to be like, I think if you tagged the right runes on it and got a certain legendary, it let you like teleport 4 times. So suddenly you could be in a fight, and then if you realize you've just bitten off more than you could chew, you could just be like, nope, then zip, and you're gone. Like 4 teleports is like half a zone, you know? Transform into lightning, becoming unstoppable and surging to the target location, dealing 18 upon arrival. Not bad. It's a current winner. Ice armor, barrier of ice, 30% base life. Oh, I remember this one. This wasn't great in the last game either. You just encase yourself in some amount of armor, which I think was only ever worth it when you put a rune on it to give it thorns, so it just reflect damage back. If you drive your armor up high enough, you can get it to like one-bot bosses, because bosses always deal a shitload more damage than they actually have health, which is weird, because it's just the way the math works. So they'd often hit you, you turn on the reflect shield, and then they just kill themselves. But you know, you had to get a certain legendary in order to get the reflect up to 100. So I never used this, but I saw other people making great use of it, and then Frost Nova. There you go. So that gives you the freezing. So Frost Nova is great. Like it calls itself a defensive skill, when in reality, it's more of a. It can be used as an offensive skill, especially when you combine it with like teleport, for example, because they do let you like. I think you had to turn the option on in the last game, but you could bind multiple spells of the same type to your actual keys. So you could have teleport, Frost Nova at the same time. Now, the way they got around this in the last game was that they had each type of spell be on a cooldown. So if you cast Frost Nova, well, that's the defensive spell cooldown, so now you can't teleport, which was a little bit silly, but you know, it depends on how they run it. I'm gonna go teleport for now and see how, because like we do have these little affixes here. Now you have to choose one or the other on these. After teleporting, you gain 30% damage reduction, which is okay. Crackling energy hits 2 additional enemies. That's all right. So defensive teleport, offensive teleport. You know, we'll work out. I mean, to be fair, I should really do this. I mean, destructive incinerate, enemies deal 20% less damage when burning. For every 4 seconds they've been hit by incinerate, they are immobilized. That is better, in my personal opinion. Because the problem with incinerate is that it doesn't. No, yes, they're being hurt, but they're not like slowing down any. So if they've got enough health to just tank you as you're casting incinerate, they can just walk up to you and bop you on the head. As for Arc Lash, I feel like upgrading the base skill isn't. I feel like upgrading the base skill. But this was done in. Of course it was. Like, remember, Ricky, this is very much an action RPG. Like, you know, you craft your skills around how you want to play. Now, this is Wizard, who tends to be very standoffish. So if the enemy get too close, your only real option is to back off. And they do give you a dodge in this game, which I can't remember if they gave you in the last game. I don't think they did. I think dodge was like an ability the monk got. But the monk was fucking stupid as well. Oh my god. Like my dad played the monk. So Dungeon Siege was a lot more like, yes, it was an action RPG, but it was a lot more RPG than it was action. If you ask me. It was very like, it almost gave me like D&D vibes almost. We should probably like put an affix on this as well. Hitting a stunned enemy with Arc Lash reduces cooldowns. 6% movement for 5 seconds per enemy hit up with Arcane Lash. That's actually more money making. Yeah, that does seem to be a thing with you, Ricky. Ricky, have you thought about just playing sim games? By which I mean like business and like fucking like off-world trading company. Because like market manipulation games seem to be your bag. Have you considered just going in with that? So yeah, that's going to be the roll. So 1 Guild 3 is sufficient. I mean, to be fair, I haven't played Guild 3 yet, so I am in no position to make a judgment. Okay, so when it says to the target... Okay, so when it says to the target position, how far away is the target position? So I'm going to hover my mouse down here. Okay, so it's basically wherever I put my cursor. Sweet. And the cooldown on that is not small, so maybe using that as an initiation isn't... Thank you for taking the hit for me, Mr. That's actually kind of cool. This guy fired at me, but there was a goat in the way and the goat took the hit. That's kind of interesting to think about. But I can use, like, animals to body block like that. Dating, hustling, or politics. It does seem to be a thing with you. Zip. Yeah, so I'm finding that I run out of mana a lot. So I'm considering putting some points into that. You know, where the fuck have I been? So I've cleared all of that. Also, the game is a bit nebulous about where you have and haven't explored. Like, I have been up this way, but it appears to be part of this zone here, so this end of the city won't reveal until I've been into this zone here. Excuse me. But, yeah, what the fuck? Oh, it's a world event, but it's level 25 plus, so I ain't touching that. It's just what, being extremely standoffish. Or, like, well, it makes sense that the, you know, you do tend to have mana retention problems. Oops. I gotta watch it now because my left ring finger is on Q, but also presses 1. So it would be very easy to accidentally use a potion when I intended to teleport. Yeah, so as you can see, the Incinerate isn't the biggest damage dealer, and in fact my left click is actually just way quicker. It's a boy. He's just gonna stand there whilst I loot his mate. Okay. I'm actually gonna look at some other stuff. This is extremely close range, but I feel like I don't want to be that close now that I've got the teleport. So, this is the annoying part. I have to unbind the entire... That's a good assignment. Oh. I can actually do that instead. Interesting. It gives me just a list rather than anything else. But if you want to swap your basic, you have to come all the way out and unbind fucking everything. It's just the best. Let's see. Because this requires me to get very close. So what I'm thinking about doing instead... I mean, I am kind of like unreasonably attached to the Incinerate, even though there's probably better stuff out there. I mean, this is largely just damage over time. Increase the burning damage. It would appear that like certain spells just cause extra damage for the damages of the same type. I mean, like here, for example, critical strikes with Firebolt increase the burning damage you deal to an enemy for 20% for 4 seconds. Now it's weird. Like crit strikes in Diablo are like, because you hit so incredibly fucking frequently, even a 1% crit strike, you're gonna see that relatively frequently. even though 1% is like once every 100 attacks, you'll still see it. Especially like Incinerate, for example, is hitting them like every quarter second. So you hold that on them for like 5 seconds, you've hit them like, you know, you've hit them like 16, 20 times, you know? So you tend to see it very frequently. Like a 5% crit rate in Diablo is extremely fucking frequently. That's once every 20. And like, especially if you're the monk, you're hitting them like tens of times a second. Because you do lots of damage, but little bits of damage extremely quickly, you know? The idea being that's like flurry of strikes. So it gets a bit weird like that. So one thing that could happen is that because it seems that there's a vulnerability thing going on, if I go Firebolt, Enhanced, Glinting, but we'll do that instead. One is it? And so you give me max mana. What's happening? Hey, Nitrous, what is going on, my dude? Go greater on that. And then we'll keep the teleport here. This takes a damage debuff, but hopefully with this vulnerability going on and with a few extra points, it should work. So one thing I did notice is that it... Oh, wow. Okay, so this does have a full screen variant. Nice. And then there's Paragon here, which leads me to there's more to this, that this is just a very basic skill tree. Yeah, I've noticed that... I've noticed that if you add, like, the points to it, it does actually change.
I'm out of mana.
Except when you run out of mana. Which is an interesting point. I like it when they do that, when, like, the skill points you're investing have actual, like, reflected bonuses. Anything you're wondering what to watch, then someone popped up. Ah, I'm touched. Yeah, welcome. This is Diablo 4. I don't know if you've played any Diablo before, Grizzle. But as I was explaining, like I played a lot of 3 on the PlayStation 3 when it came out because I was still quite young when it came out. Oh dear, it's a bear. Okay, we're not melting as quickly as we used to, but I think a few more points. Bling Gruz. Oh lord. Zip. God, I love teleport. Just be like, I'm in trouble. No, I'm not.
I'm not ready yet.
Yeah, it's not quite as instantaneous as the previous setup. A lot more fire going on. I'll tell you what, instead... This is largely because I am unreasonably attached to Incinerate. So we'll run it off a bit more, but we'll change up if we need to. Because I often found that I had my preferred setup until I came up against a boss that just kicked my ass. In which case, I had to suddenly reconfigure what I was doing. He refused to play Moon of War. I know, right? Not Monkey, but... It is extremely awesome. And I think, honestly, it should run better because it's not nearly as heavy on mod. So I reckon Grizz, I reckon your computer could actually manage it. Random holy painting. It's weird. Normally such set pieces have something going on with them. This is a large area. I don't think I'm going to explore... Oh, wait, I can put waypoints down. Noted. Looks like I'm going into another area here. So I'll wave off and go south. Go for this side quest first. I can...
That is not possible.
I mean, if I can see a bit of the path down that way. Yeah, right there. Can I do this? I absolutely can. Noted. If you can see it, you can warp to it. Cool. I like it when they give you that level of freedom. Is this an... Oh, it's an event. Hang on. Give me... There we go. Needed that. You know, the fucking 40k mod is fucking banging. It's actually, like, I'm surprised how incredibly well produced it is. It is actually a huge amount of fun. It says an event is nearby. Yeah, I ain't seeing nothing. And the trigger. Often, like, these events can be a bit sneaky, I've found.
I'm not ready
The other problem, bears seem to be able to close distance with you extremely quickly. So, Incinerate, which has to be held on a target for an extended period of time in order to do lots and lots of damage, isn't the best. So, new plan. Teleport's great. I think Frost Nova might see us better. Because then I can just do that. And then... So I can Frost Nova, dodge, and then hit them with that. And that should keep them there long enough for the ramp on Incinerate to build. How long does it freeze them for? Around 2 seconds. Not brilliant, unfortunately. Reduces its cooldown to 2 seconds, 6 seconds per cast. Killing enemies frozen by Frost Nova. So you can bring it down. So it's currently like, yeah, 14. So that brings it down to like 8. Which isn't bad at all, actually. New test. I mean, that's better, but still quite slow. I think we're relying too much on damage over time, I think. So instead, we're going to wave off of that. Let's instead go lightning-centric. Let's have a look. Launch a bolt, shocks an enemy 4 times, dealing 6 damage each time. So 4 times 6 equals 24. Each time Spark hits an enemy, its primary target has a 20% chance to hit up to 3 additional enemies. But that's 20% 4 times, which isn't 80%, but it's higher. Wow. You're early in, it's going to be slow. This is true. Yeah, I'm just paranoid is all. I think we're relying a bit too much on damage over time. And we'll do that. So that's what it's. If there are no other enemies for Spark to hit, instead just deals 20% increased damage, which is its anti-boss. Okay, there's an event. Sweet. Spark grants 2% increased critical strike per cast for 3 seconds up to 10%. Each time it hits an enemy, each time Spark hits an enemy has a 3% to form a crackling energy. Periodically damages enemies when picked up. Oh, I see. So it can throw out things I can pick up to then kill shit with. A bed. So increased crit strike. Which... Increased crit... I'll go with the increased crit strike for now. Of these two, I'd prefer Chain Lightning. 3% increased crit chance per bounce. Bounces off of you. Its next hit deals 25% increased damage. So that encourages you to be very close to the enemy. When Chain Lightning critically strikes, has a 25% chance to form a crackling energy, which, when combined with the extra crit strike from Spark, is what we'll do then is that we'll open up with Spark, and then hit him with the Chain Lightning afterwards. And I think Frost Nova's good, but air. Ice Armor's air. I think we'll go back. I think if we go full Lightning, and let's see how we go. Investigate Ancient Siphons. Alright then. Awesome. Oh, I see. I've got to kill shit in the zone. Right, following you. So when mysterious, like, circles appear, I tend to run away very quickly. You know, it's a bit of a survival instinct. Okay, that's being significantly quicker. Because what I'm getting is that lightning is just damage now rather than damage later, but it seems to be quite reliant on crit strikes. Zip. Woo, that's a lot of shit. Let me quickly grab that. Okay, so I got to kill enough in this zone in order to disable each one. Whoa. This might be the end of me. Oh, that's because it's a rage being right following you. But I do be making descents. We grab all of that. Whilst I'm running away, do that instead. Zip to the other side of them and then hit them with this. And the level up kills them all anyway. Sweet. I don't think I should bank on level ups, but you know, it's a strategy. Played. I love how Bill always gets distracted by Mackie. Dude, she is just actively attempting to get my attention. It's just, I gave her attention all fucking morning. This cat fucking lives off of attention. It's weird. It wants to monopolize it. Played too many MMOs, circle equals death, get out the fire. Yeah, that's all. It's like, as soon as I see shit on the ground, it's just like, fuck. Like, it's an autonomic reaction at this point. Circle equals stand in for goodies, dude. You fucking... That's the kind of talk that gets you booted from WoW guilds in no time flat. Instead of getting the upgrades for teleport per enemy hit, actually, that's actually really good. We'll do that, and then we're going to go into devastation here, just to get a little bit more mana. It won't be a terrible amount more, because, you know, you get 100, and the first level's only 3, which is But we will want it, I believe. Seeing as we don't have a generator, it seems. It seems we don't have a generator, we'll have to go with that. Also, I picked stuff up, and I should probably... Like, I'm trying to loot here. Have a look. More armor, reduction from enemies in close range, but that is a greater deal of armor and intelligence, which is our damage stat. So that is better. It's also better colors. I already got to break this this mentality in my head, which is just like lead with your most powerful attack, which is not how we deal the most damage. Oh, it stays on you. That's actually kind of cool. You can do that. If you pick it up, it kind of like banks it for when you do get into a fight. So the next fight I get into, I will have a little bit extra damage for. Plain miner. He had some iron on him. God knows why. Dungeons collection for £3. Yeah, dude. Fucking it is cheap. I got them. And zip. Why are they called slingers if they got crossbows? Firing lightning bolts at the local fauna just because I'm jumpy. It's like, this is the thing with Diablo, it likes to spring shit on you like that. Ashen Hollow. Could be a little sub-zone. Here's kitty. Yes, it's a good kitty. Yeah, just pushing your way up any way you can, aren't you, cat? Yeah. Alright, so you also get these little things called cellars. Which, you know, you got them, they're fairly common in Diablo. You get, Diablo, you know. But, where you get these, like, little, like, small dungeons in the middle of a zone, kind of, which normally is, like a house or something. Which you can go into, which normally contain a little boss fight. Nothing particularly major. Often like the little auto-generated champions, which are like bigger buffer versions of normal enemies that have certain affixes on them. Sorry, I've just noticed on the stream that the game's actually darker. I don't know why it's darker on the stream than it is anything else, but I'm not going to do anything too major to it. And give it a little bit more gamma, just to guarantee that things aren't lost. Oop. So I think this is like the well. Because you got the well in the last game, which was like this little like centralized area with a couple of like pits coming off the side of it, which had bad shit in it. Never mind, I just found the way out. Keep thinking that's a chest. But yeah, fucking dungeon seed is super cheap. Thing is, anything that looks like the second act of Diablo 3 is just... It immediately gives me fucking Vietnam flashbacks. That was my least favorite zone in that entire game. So if we do that, we've built up the crit strike bonus, and suddenly we're slaying. Cool. That was mean. It lied to me. Zip. And now that's a crit strike bonus.
Out of mana once again.
And then I just dump all of my mana into Chain Lightning whilst I'm doing that. Fucking do not remain within the massive pentagrams. Generally a good way to die.
I
Wait.
need time to
See,
prepare that.
little arena fights like that, off and down these places, and I did get a rare out of it. Thing is, fucking like Borderlands in particular, but a lot of games have trained me to think yellow equals legendary, which I think is orange in Diablo. Attack speed, all stats. That's just good. Sweet. Also, you still get your oh, I see. You still get your overall ratings, as it were. This is a visual indicator of how much ass you're kicking. Also orange in Borderlands? Yeah. I'm trying to remember which game is it that has yellow as legendary. Might be WoW, if I remember correctly. Even though you don't typically get a lot of gearing in WoW anymore. Oh dear. It's a level 20. Wait, it's a level 21 other player, but there doesn't appear to be a lot of difference between how quick we're killing enemies. That's weird. That a ghoul appeared to be recovering health. Yeah, nothing I've got is any good. See? I don't remember if it's a demon hunter in this. If I remember correctly. Yeah, shift to compare. And the one is slightly better. Right. Zip. Kill damage, probably. Which annoyed the fuck out of me when they did it in WoW. Okay, so the cat is just resting her head on my hand, on my keyboard. It's kind of like nudging me, being like, hey, attention. Like, fuck off. He is bordering on unreasonable at this point. Oh, that's a loot goblin. God, his ass, dude. Yeah, loot goblins are just as important in this game as they were in the previous game. Rare focus. What is that? Must be some kind of fetish. That's weird. Okay, so the eye is saying it's slightly better. Give me dex though, which is not brilliant for me. Healing received, lucky hit chance. But the other one's not exactly brilliant either, so I think I'll go with this. And neither of these were any good, so Wait, they've got another player knocking around. And it was only because of that other player that I found that loot goblin. It's weird, because in the last game, loot goblins were significantly more annoying to deal with. The challenges are a thing. They appear to give you some amount of stuff. Not that I know what the fuck they are. Or if indeed you have to go claim it, or what. Go. Or Steely Deadeye, player titles. Okay. Have to go find that in a bit. Okay, so these things have fucking reach, which makes sense for massive Angitrients. Oh lord. Yeah, I think lightning is paying off a bit more. Well, I think when we get some more points to be able to play with, I might switch back over to Disintegrate, because once again, having the channeled beam of Skullfuck is just something else I want. It is something I am unreasonably attached to. A lot of ambushes down this way. To be fair, right? Remind me what the fuck. It's chances to form crackling energy. but then this is immobilization. Does this just... Yeah, this is just straight up normal crit strike, so instead, then, fuck's sake. Give me the immobilizing incinerate instead. Because if it's just crit strike, then, you know, incinerate hits very, very quickly. So the same strategy will work, but with much more emphasis on crit striking with the incinerate. Also, the spark is just fucking good, it seems. Pants. Oh, good pants. Fine. Oh, looks like there's a little sub area over here. A little, like, village. Hey. Okay. But,
How many times have I said, do not
yeah.
leave these walls? I promised your parents I would care for you.
But did Diablo IV Beta's out?
I saw.
It. Also, I bought you a bottle of drink. Also, this. Yes.
Do you see now, Lacthen? Enough is enough. Parathin's soul is marred by sin.
Interesting.
No, he wouldn't go that far.
But I can't remember how I got sent out this way.
If you do
It was someone I spoke to in town.
will, do you have the will to see it through?
Do not question my faith. I will fix this.
Yeah, so we got sent out this way by someone in town. Yeah, yeah. So I think it just I pick it up and it sends me out this way, which is just a little like quest zone.
Those
Double
were
it.
the local hunters. They went with my brother Perithan to guide through the mountain pass, but were attacked by bandits. The hunters think Perithan set them up. That cannot be right. He is not very devout, but he wouldn't do something like that.
In before he would absolutely do something like that.
But the woods are dangerous. Could I perhaps hire you as a bodyguard?
Yes.
Sure. I'm like, yes, sure.
Thank you.
I'll take money.
Before we leave, we should ask around town. Maybe he came back on his own.
I'm just gonna screw with the options a bit more. Bring effects down, I think. Effects and ambient down. Keep dialogue high. I think that ought to do us a bit better. I mean,
Not while I'm in town.
awesome. Just a whole mix down just a little bit more. There we go. It wants us to ask around town. Now, I have a feeling there's a lot of other
That troublemaker.
quests around here I need to pick up.
No. But let me know if you find him. I have some questions.
Interesting.
I am innocent. Don't let me burn.
You murdered innocents for the coin in their pockets. Confess and seek grace in the light.
Yeah, all these guys are like hyper devout. Like, effectively, like Slavs, I think, is the kind of like the way they're trending.
I see.
This is the guy I was actually sent out here to
Our young
find.
brother failed in his pilgrimage to the monastery. A shame. But no worse than any of us have earned, is it? Death of fang and claw, of freezing, of the pyre. Our sinful bodies deserve no better.
As you can tell, they're all a complete riot. Wait. I get a box full of free stuff and then some extras.
No. Perithan does his very best to avoid me, I'm afraid. I should hope he's somewhere praying for his own salvation. We gave up long ago.
Okay, so what I'm getting is that this guy doesn't. What I'm getting is this guy isn't Pocker. I just want to finish that quest before joining the stream, but clearly that dungeon would take me an hour. Yeah, Diablo things. That's very standard. I would say of
all
Diablo.
around us, threatening to close in at any moment. It is our struggle to keep it at bay, if only just barely. Back when the
Interesting.
Knights Penitent still patrolled these woods, they would construct great sanctified braziers to ward off
I think I know where this is going. Want me to go light them again, do you? Boy. Okay, no, that was a bit of a bug. He just kind of held.
We are far from Kyogoshad, friend. Beyond their notice or care. But
I know
the
far
Father
is
sees
the word
our
I would
light
use.
burn from high atop his glacier.
Yep.
Many were bandits.
Okay, so what I'm
Murderers.
getting here is that they are.
Others, dear friends. Good, light-tending
Okay,
folk,
waypoint. Good to know.
until they embraced evil.
More like comfy time,
We
alright?
must
It
not
looks comfy.
share
You
the
do.
fate of Nevesk.
Oh,
Examples.
there's a boy following me around. I had the exact same boy, actually. It just seems to be a thing with this dialogue then.
Why? To finally arrest the
Suddenly
menace?
skeletons?
He went out with those heathen merchants a while back. I haven't seen him since.
Light.
Ah,
I
okay.
was hoping.
I think we just changed instance.
The merchants were ambushed at a camp just before the pass. We should search there.
Okay, so we think... I'm expecting this guy to be just working with bandits.
Last night. Ugh. Should I report them to the priest?
You've known them for years, Milana. Just talk to them first.
Yeah, so persecution is getting a bit out of hand. People are paranoid, spying on each other's neighbors, which, in the event of there are demons outside the walls looking to eat everyone, is a natural reaction.
Come back, and there are more. All the same.
Also, there's mounts and stuff, which I can't get yet. But that tells me that this is more of an open world concept than it was in 3.
I will pray for our feet. This pilgrimage has not been kind to them.
I see. Because you used to get these like little, like you spoke to like the holy guys in town, they would heal you for free, which is never a service I made use of because I never needed to. I'm roughly 17 and a half now, must reach 20 before the beta end. Yeah, I was thinking that. No, nothing. Literally no one said that, Justin. Literally no one.
You're kind, but it's nothing that won't heal. I was a fool for trying to get into the old Lights Watch
What was
outpost.
Zalan Kot? Why does that remind me of what was that Haradrim priest in 3 that you had the ghost help you out with?
However,
And then he
the
turned out
church
inevitably
keeps
to be
everything
evil?
but its records in
Because
a
I think he had like the Black Soul Stone or something.
left behind at the
It was voiced by
outpost
Steve
Knights
Bloom.
Penitent.
It was some really like obviously villain name. Yeah, it was some like super obvious villain name like Sinestro. Like imagine like everybody thinking Sinestro was a good guy. Oh fuck, what was his name? Zoltan Cool. Yeah, that's him. I don't know why Zalan Kost remind me of him, but yeah, fucking Zoltan Cool. Fucking, he's not just cool, he's Zoltan Cool. And this is all just flavor text, which I would explore more deeply in the full game, but things are on a time limit here. Light the brazier to start the ritual. That's the waypoint. That's my waypoint that I set. Dungeon, more wood. Yeah, aspects. I'm not sure what the hell those are. I seem to think... Gamer instincts are telling me that it's like runes in the last game, where they changed the effect of certain spells. Just rolling around with an entourage, it seems. Yeah, just post all of that. That's it. Just remember to... This is what the mech actually does to a boy. It do. You give him boys. You give him the homies, the unwilling homies. I'm gonna wait till a quest sends me into there. I'm gonna track that one because I have a feel like because when it comes to like dungeons like that, I find that there's often I find there's often like a quest that tends to send you in. Ow. Because you got to hold it on for 4 and then it immobilizes them. But I don't see that taking any effect. Maybe it's because the wood boys are too big. Oh, for God's sake. Do that instead. Nah. Now it's at least a damage reduction. So if they do close with me, which they seem to be able to do anyway, it's not nearly as much of a problem.
This is horrible. Do you
He is stripped of anything of value. Again, I'm telling you, this Perthian guy is have been broken thoroughly around. I'm telling you, he's working with the bandits and is telling the bandits where the merchant convoys are, so that they can hit them.
Unsavory types who sometimes met with Perithan. Seems
How was that? Oh, clans. No quest will ever send you into there because them's what we call open world dungeons. Oh, really? Oh. Oh, this is the barbarian aspect, which is But I'm sure there's still some good shit down there. And that's the real benefit of Incinerate. I can just bop all of those cunts very quickly. Get funny little buffs. Yeah. This is what I'm taking aspects to be. But we can go further south, but look, there's a huge amount of zones down this way. What are these bloody titles it's on about? I'll investigate it later, it's not important.
He's gone too far this time. He has strayed so far from the light.
Yeah, how slow that is on single target. I have a feeling I'm going to get a more offensive power later on, which will be better for single target damage, because the Incinerate seems to be good for large crowds, like that, for example. I think that's going to be the play.
This must be it. Let's go. I'm ready.
There we are. Still, the increased crit strike combo seems to be also doing its job.
I'm out of mana.
Oops. Easy. Can't remember if it was this another little dungeon. Okay, I saw a little cellar up this way, so I'm gonna go around and clear this little zone before I jump in. There we are. Also, there's an event here, so.
Don't just stand there. Help me.
I'll think about it. Oh, it's just the same one as earlier. It is.
Far too trusting.
Oh. Good to know. I mean, I'll just burn him then. Fuck you. Zip. To bring up the crit strike and then start toasting. Yeah, this seems to be doing a lot more damage though. Zip. But I think I did that in the last game as well. I had my my teleport be did so much damage that I ended up like in a panic. I would teleport directly onto myself and then use that to kind of as a little like area nuke. Massacre the bandits. Okay, when it says massacre, does it mean I have to kill them all before the time limit runs out? Oh. Make sure I get the guys at range. Oh, I see. Ah. That's what that is. Just kill a certain number within a certain period of time.
I lack the
Oh dear.
needed mana.
Zip. Yeah, I remember those little bastards. I don't know why I thought I couldn't just teleport through the wall, because I'm pretty sure I can. Stop looting the villager, you fool. Kill them. Trying to kill his little buddies because they're hurting. Trying to remember how I did the casting in the last one. Because I'm getting this problem where I teleport away from them, go to attack them, and then immediately start running back towards them. Yay. Not sure what murmuring orbs are, but I'm sure I'll find out. Very slightly better there. I haven't had a ring yet. It's not quite worth the extra armor. And a herb cache. Do have to hit the town at some point. Just get rid of all this stuff equipment. To be fair, we're not having mana problems as much anymore. So instead, I'm going to buff integration. Okay, that was a fun distraction. But we shall press on. Even one extra level in Disintegrate is improving its efficiency greatly. Okay. Well, I was just wondering what that little up arrow on the potion was. That seems to be most everything here. Let's go do this cellar and then we'll do that dungeon. Alt 5. Right.
Out of mana once again.
Oh. I don't think I can cast in that zone that they've put down. Interesting. As I'm still lacking most of my spells, which is, you know, to be expected. To be fair, actually, I think instead, let's find out. Actually, it does. Okay, so every point I spend gets me closer to the next spell. Anyway, I was thinking, do I need to spend points on the previous node for it to count towards the next? In order for it to count towards the next, like, spell node, as it were. But no. This is the problem I'm having with Disintegrate. Like, it has damage ramp, but consumes so much mana that it often doesn't get that far. Oh, I remember you pricks. Fucking the bloated corpses. They like to explode when they get too close. Not sure what that is, but I'm pretty sure it's him there. Work my way through all these assholes. Oh, I'd say that means they're ignoring any movement control effects.
I'm not ready yet.
Apparently this guy doesn't count towards completion of the zone, which is an interesting choice. Or this guy. Yeah, but that's bad. I've temporarily lost control of the character. Come here, come here. Ugh. I can't tell you the amount of times I got killed by that. Because I don't think before they had in the last game they had a magic two-handed scythe, but I can't use. Oh, it's necromancer. That would make an amount of sense. But yeah, because they didn't used to have that little zone around them that made it obvious that they were about to explode. So they just, like, you'd kill them whilst they were close, especially when they were a big crowd of enemies. You would never see them coming, and I just get killed immediately. Which is a problem I stopped having when I switched to Crusader, because Crusader is so incredibly fucking tanky, it wouldn't matter. See, now the leveler's reading is level 10, which tells me that these zones scale to a certain point, I would imagine.
I'm out of mana.
Yeah, they introduced. It was in Reaper of Souls. They introduced they introduced a new class, which was the Crusader, which I gelled with quite a bit. Because he's a lot more forward. By which I mean, like, his initiations are a lot stronger than the Wizard. So I enjoyed that quite a bit. Like, he was a lot of burst very quickly. And then he has lots of sustain. I think the bit where he struggled was that in boss fights he didn't have much in the way of, like, targeted damage. So you'd stay alive, but the boss fights would go on for a while. Yes, yes. You're starting to realize that he is, in fact, a shitlord. How big's this map? Fair. I mean, I think the Incinerate isn't actually burning them at all is the problem. Like, it's not giving them a damage over time. There we go. I forget that the teleport is also a nuke. But I am, once again, unreasonably attached to the Disintegrate, because there's something about a great big beam of focus skullfuck that, you know, once again, it's part of the fantasy. The fact that this left click isn't a generator is really hurting me. As you can see, I'm kind of like scattering bolts, just kind of as a, almost as like a reaction, because I'm used to that being a generator. So I'd send a couple out mid-combat just to make sure I had enough mana. Which I think in the last game was actually arcane power, which was a dumb distinction because I think the. If I remember correctly, the Witch Doctor used mana as well. Oh, he's special. That's right. Because the Witch Doctor used mana, but the Wizard used arcane power, prompting many to ask, what's the difference? And I guess Blizzard finally went, realistically, there isn't much. So remember, I do have that. What in the fuck? Oh, you can call buddies of his own. Which I suppose is supposed to be demons, but, you know, we haven't gotten that far. Oh, I see. Oh, start dropping shit then. Start dropping shit then. What we got? Oh, well, that's reading is +2, because it very much isn't. I think the maths works out on that one. Zip. Yeah. Once again, that damage ramp isn't anything to sneeze at. Oh. May have made a bit of a whoopsie here. Just kind of back off like that. So I can get the crit strike up and then turn around. Get behind them so I can fuck up their range support. There we go. I like how the other guy is just kind of following them around in the crowd. Like, I thought you were here to help me, dickhead. There we go. Oh, this slow lasts a while. I wasn't expecting this to be another zone, so I'll back up in a minute. Make sure I didn't miss anything in the previous area. Easy. No, no. Okay, that's the way forward. Ah, there's some shit hiding over here. That's the way forward, so I imagine this little area is just a little extra zone with some extra boys, which I'm not against. Oh, there's two. Interesting. I wonder if it makes any difference. My initial instinct is no. Easy. Now, I'm starting to gel with this combo that I've got. I think I'm starting to get the hang of it. Hello. Smuggler's key. Oh, I see. If I had attempted to open the door, they would have been like, it's locked. So I have preemptively gotten the key. I mean, I suppose the chains were a bit of a hint. Oh, it might be the UI, but this game feels a lot more like Diablo 2 than it does 3. Which isn't a bad thing. Diablo 2 was banging. off. There we go. Hit him with that mid-range nuke. I mean, aggressive teleports, you know, they're a gamble, but when they work, they work. There we go. So I mean, like, a disintegrate is just not built for single target damage. I wonder, what am I gonna get in this next area? Ooh, we get the Hydra. Hydra's great fun. You just summon that down and it just starts hitting people with it. Under a lightning spear that tracks and seeks down enemies, I suppose. So I just seem to be able to like conjure help in this next area, in this next tree. Protection, mana shield. What is this then? 5% damage reduction against elites for each second you haven't taken damage from one, up to 50%. Okay. So that just rewards playing keep away. Uh-oh. Back up from that. I was thinking about trying to teleport past them, but I just looked at how many there were, and I'd have just teleported myself into a problem. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Dip backwards. Proceed to cook. 4 and 5. The problem is these three have increased health because they're the elite's buddies. There we go. Cook him. Merciful heal. Wrong button. Shit. Stop this shit. Nothing major. I seem to have outrun the horde, but I did manage to thin them a bit. Yeah, there he is there. But I'm not sure what I'm going to go with in this next one. Like, my immediate instinct is Hydra because I'm trying to remember my old build, which obviously won't apply entirely to this game because it's an entirely different fucking game. But there isn't a quick button for just dumping shit on the ground, but it's still higher level anyway. Yeah. There's an interesting choice of clothing in this part of the world. Get these gloves first. They are shit. And then staff. I have enough in. Oh, I see. I need to drop 2 things. Just use the town portal. We have that. Oh, we do. For some reason, I didn't think that the town portal was a thing. Just me being smooth brain again. Can't tell I haven't played Diablo in a while, huh? And let's go salvage our crap. This is the shop. I would prefer to salvage because I know later on crafting gear becomes far more important. I kind of want to.
Let's have a look at you. Look.
Interesting.
You live or die.
Thank you. So that just gets rid of his thing then. Just unlocks new look on salvage. Yeah, just give me. Sweet. And then what else can you do? You can repair stuff. You can upgrade stuff. Now I haven't got any legendaries yet, so I'm not in the market for upgrading. What I shall do instead then, check if they've got anything useful. I mean, I'm about to pick up that staff. Great stuff. At the speed at which I'm getting new kit, I'm not sure I want to do that. I think I'll wait until I get a legendary before I start doing that sort of thing. I have now just realized that I apparently already picked up that staff, but oh well. Once again, it won't be long before I come up against a replacement. Yep. God damn, I can't wait till I get something a bit more pointed. My first legendary from a barrel. I kind of get why people ask whether or not the drop rate was increased. Yeah, I'm getting that sense as well. And I haven't got a legendary yet, but I'm also like level 10. So, because I remember in the last game, like, I almost always got my on a new run on a new character. I almost always got my first legendary from the Butcher, which is the end boss of the first act, if I remember correctly. Like almost always, I got my first legendary from the Butcher. Something up this way, which I want to find. Bit of gold. Oh well. Fuck's sake. You know I can't leave money behind. How much money do I have? I've got 10 grand. Gold or not gold? That is not a question. There is only gold. Yay. Higher for the base specifically? Yeah, I heard that. I put that in the Discord. So thanks for the follow, Lucid. Wasn't sure if you were here, so I wanted to wait until I was sure. But yeah. Yeah, so they I think somebody like I can't remember his name, but one of the lead developers, the chap who has the unfortunate honor of being the guy who says you guys not have phones, who apparently is just a nice guy, but yeah, he gets that to hang over his head for the rest of his life. But yeah, somebody like went on Twitter being like, "Hey, so is like the drop rate increased?" And they were like, "Yeah, it is." And to be fair, right, if people then go, "Yeah, but I like this level of loot. This is actually making the game fun." Like to reduce this level of loot would be to actively harm the game. So hopefully they then take that into account and realize that getting shiny baubles all the time was what made Diablo fun. Oop, no, come out. There we go. Which if then they draw it down and be like, yeah, but we'll sell you better loot, is just, you know, a smoking gun as to what they're trying to do. But hopefully Blizzard realize they're kind of on a lot of people's shit list in the minute, so...
Perifan, damn it, where are you?
Is this him? I assume so. Hey. Okay, so he has bouncy shit, worth noting. Yeah, just make sure you keep moving, like kind of rotating around him, and stay away from walls. Ow. Wait. Yeah, this fight is mean. You're telling me these traps don't despawn? That is mean at a level that is entirely unnecessary. Oops. Getting a bit closer. Problem is with the problem is with Disintegrate, with that damage ramp, I got to keep it on him, but I kind of can't stay still in this fight. So, fuck. Why did that come out from behind him? The hell is? Okay, so he seems to be able to project shot out of these voids that he drops behind him as well. Oh, sweet. It's one of those fights that gets harder the longer it goes on for. I might just, like, start just tanking damage. He isn't firing quick enough to make use of the vulnerability. So long as I avoid... Ow.
I'm not ready yet.
So long as I avoid those little bouncing shots, I should be fine. And then do that. Wait for the damage ramp to kick in. Come on, get him. Get him. Ah, there he is. There we go. Got his ass. Yeah, that was unnecessarily painful. Let's catch up with chat. Trying to be too cynical with Blizzard, but too cynical with Blizzard makes it hard. Yeah, because they've done this shit in the past. It's all the shit they get. All the shit they put on regular. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just the sense I get. Like, because like they fucked up extremely in the past and have proven that it is in fact possible to run out of goodwill, because Blizzard had more customer goodwill built up than anyone, and yet they still are now one of the most reviled countries on earth. Companies. So yeah, no, it is proving to dickhead business people that, you know, it is possible to piss people off beyond loyalty. It takes a minute, and you can make a lot of money in the meantime, but yeah.
What have you
This fight with the Druid is a lot more...
How could you have
shut up,
fallen so
Justin.
far?
Just shut up.
Margrave demands justice, brother. I need justice.
You're gonna jump down my throat, you can
Told me it would
just
be clean.
shut
Leave
off.
a few purses and send them on their way. Nobody was supposed to get hurt.
Yeah, I get the sense that on Druid that would have been a lot harder.
Didn't kill
Is Druid
anyone.
melee?
I ran.
Because
and they
with Druids, it's
punished me for it.
one or the other.
You must believe me.
You'll never convince the others.
Yeah, that's the sense I get with Druid.
We can't return
It
to
can be one
Margrave.
or the other. Or it can be a magic caster, because there's like no consensus on Druid. Like in D&D,
These
Druid
are
can do all
smart
three.
tunnels, right?
Like they get a lot of divine spells from the they're like clerics, but have more access to different like
Thank you for your help.
to more
Isn't it?
domains at once.
I can't just... Can I trust you not to tell anyone where we've gone?
Understood.
You know what I mean? Like, because like 3 has D&D had like you get a lot of like different domains of magic that you can do in that you get the proficiency with like simple weapons, which does include bows, and your dexterity isn't bad as a druid because you can't wear heavy armor or like worked metal, so that means a lot of the higher tiers of armor are unavailable to you, so having high dex is a good way to mitigate the damage risk, because dex gives you AC. And then you kind of have to use melee otherwise you're going to struggle. Alright, that's one disconnect, boys. That's one. Is it going with the underboob there? Is it hey. Oh, there was an error. Let's see if I can just run in time. Oop. That doesn't do anything. I am getting the feeling I'm going to have to relog. So let's do that. But yeah, fucking Druid's a bit like a certain character from a certain Diablo 3 DLC that I used to play. That's a lot more squishy. But once you disconnect, you have to restart. Okay, noted. But yeah, that's only one DC in like a little over an hour's gameplay. Yeah, so that's not too bad actually. For Blizzard Beta, that's not bad actually. Because I remember Classic, man. Now, admittedly, right? All right, we got 2 minutes away. Now, admittedly, right? No, that's starting. Whoops. There we go. No, there's probably a lot more demand for a Classic release than there was Diablo IV Beta, because I'm getting the sense that a lot of people heard the Diablo IV Beta and thought, no, they just announced it to kind of salve the wounds of the shit they were doing at the time, which they did. They announced Diablo IV, some time ago, and they did it around the same time they'd piss a lot of people off. So the implication was that they were going to use the announcing of a proper Diablo sequel on PC to kind of like regain a bit of the goodwill, but the game was nowhere near finished. But then it's been a while, and it looks like they've actually gone away and done what the fuck they've been told to do for years now, and actually designed and developed the game properly through a proper cycle with a new team. And I'm actually seeing a lot of progress out of this, because you know, Dragonflight is actually a good deal of fun. I do want to go back to it, but I don't know when I'm gonna have the time for an MMO. But yeah, like that's a whole new team that did that, and it was a bigger team than worked on Shadowlands too. And as a result, it's actually fun. Like I'm hearing a lot of good praise out of it still. Like the big player drop off has happened, but it wasn't nearly as extreme as it was in Shadowlands. Apparently, the raid is brilliant. So yeah, all these new people that they've brought, and they seem to be actually doing their fucking job rather than trolling the cubicles for pussy. And it's amazing when you don't spend time abusing your coworkers and actually making games. The games are good and people like you for it. Shocking, I know. But yeah. Drew is basically a Crusader redesign. Interesting. I mean, the theming of it is quite important to me, so I probably won't play Druid. Also, in the last game, one of my favorite points of the companions that you could use was that if you took the Templar Cormac, one of the idle talks that he would give you is, do you believe in a higher power? And yes, that was around about the accent he had. If you had anyone else, they'd give some, you know, answer. Like I had the wizards who was like, yeah, wizard was like, well, from what we know, yes, we believe that these figures actually do exist. and he just kind of reprimands you for like that's not quite how belief works, forehead. But if you play the Crusader, and Cormac asks, "Do you believe in a higher power?" the Crusader goes, "Yes, I do," and the Templar goes, "Oh, great." And then from that moment, like the broship between Cormac the Templar and my Crusader is just forged. And even though it is statistically better to take the Enchantress because she has a lot of buffs and a lot of range stuff that is much more important, fucking the broship between the Templar and the Crusader is just it's too much for me to be able to give up and walk away from. So I just kept using the Templar. Like deadass, that was like some of the most fun I've had. Oh god. To me, it's just been more than 2 minutes. I don't know. When I stream, I have what is effectively like stream onset ADHD, and I lose track of time. Let's say one DC in an hour isn't bad, and only, let's say, a couple of minutes. There we go. Like a few minutes to get back in. It's not bad, honestly. Like for a beta, I can tolerate that, and anybody who can't tolerate that is clearly like a ADHD-ridden Zoomer mess. Yeah, the point is, Druid has a lot of air magic range attack that is honestly just the hammer throwing melee attack from the Crusader. He's a lot more of a brawler. Yeah. I say that's what the Crusader was. Like he did have range, he could do it, but he was a lot more close range brawler. Awesome, my login attempt failed. Okay, I was just now singing your praises, game. Don't start fucking me about. Hopefully it remembers the ticket that I just launched to get back in. So it should pick that back up. But yeah, no, that's kind of like what the Crusader was in the previous game. Which is like almost like why I played him for thematic reasons, but I ended up really liking the Crusader. I mean, Wizard is still a lot of fun, and I'll still go back to Wizard every now and again. I played a bit of Monk. Monk was fun. She's very, very fast in the previous game, but it was more my dad's shtick, which I discovered. For the same reasons I have Alaric and tend to play Paladins is the same reason why my dad plays Monks. It's because his favorite D&D character, well, really his most effective D&D character, because he didn't have another one, was a monk called Thorn, and she was nuts. I looked at her character stats once, and it was like, what the fuck? She had gauntlets, little gloves that he had enchanted with the disintegrate spell at like a dumb high level. So she would just punch people and they'd just turn to ash and disappear, which was fucking metal to me, and I loved it. Apparently his main character there was a dwarf fighter called Dalark, whose whole shtick was that he was just an egotistical asshole who would consistently take credit for the other member of the party, which was a half ogre magi whose main strategy in combat was to dual wield two-handed swords because he was big enough to do that, cast invisibility on himself, and then just run around taking heads. So what my dad would do as the dwarf fighter, he would swing, not even attempting really to hit people, but he like swing in the general direction of people as he was fighting, and you know they'd kind of die because the invisible ogre magi just cleave them in fucking half. Here we go. And he would then proceed to take credit for all of the kills because the half ogre magi, as soon as he would uncloak himself, everybody would go, "Oh God, it's an ogre, disgusting!" And then they'd actively have to prevent pitchforks. But yeah, he'd just proceed to plant his sword and go, "Yes, I did this. Aren't I brilliant?" and receive all the praise, much to the chagrin of the ogre magi. Apparently, he did it once where it was like the end fight of a big dungeon, and they were fighting a great big demon. Very much what you'd expect of a demon. You know, big horns, basically the Balrog. He got there late because he was delayed by something. I think it was petrified or something in a previous fight, and he got there right at the end of the fight. and made one attack against the demon that they'd been fighting for a while, got the last hit, and then proceeded to walk up to his party mates, plant his sword in the head of this demon, stick his foot on it, and go, "Yes, I have saved you all, aren't I? Brilliant! I have defeated the demon nearly single-handedly. It's a good job you managed to hold him off until I got here." Which is just the level of prick that he liked to play. And I've known many players who do that, and it's funny every time. Like, from a DM perspective, to see one player be RP that much of a dick, it's always fun to watch. To watch the other players go, "You're such an ass," and the other guy go, "I know." That's the thing. I like to watch people when they do that sort of thing. It's part of the fun of being a DM when people RP properly. Oh, it's so much fun. I mean, I was going to get a game running. I've actually been consulting the machine god about how I'm going to do that. And how I'm going to write up the setting and everything. And then I've got to decide on what system we want to run. There you go. Yeah, you see? So I played quite a bit of D&D in my day. I got it from my dad. I took all of his books. My party is great. My party is great RP. It's the best. When people actually RP properly, it's just tasty. Random, but I'm still amused that Lucid is now because despite what it looked like, this was completely unplanned. No, I believe it. No, honestly, like, A, networking works, and B, when people get into contact with each other and they seem to vibe, they'll continue to do so. But yeah, he is most welcome, and I'm happy that he's here. What's up, Lucid? But yeah. So I play quite a bit of D&D, and I tend to DM because I was the only one who was a big enough nerd to look into it. But, as much as I do like to play as well, DMing has become something that I enjoy quite great. I enjoy a great deal. I've written my own setting and everything. And it's one of those things, like, every time I run people through it, I identify weak points and shore them up. So every time I run the campaign, it gets a little better. Simply because, there are some people who are really fucking good at finding chinks in armor when it comes to homebrew. So, the more you spot that, the better it gets. I'm low-key of the opinion that playing tabletop RPGs, it will be easier with people that I don't know. It tends to be the way, because people who do know you tend to preempt your movements based on your personality, which gets really fucking annoying when you're trying to RP, because they start metagaming, even if they don't realize it. You know what I mean? And I've had more than one player do this, like, subconsciously. But really getting into RP with guys you've known for years is just weird. Yeah, and so it's a different it's a different dynamic with people that you've already known for a very long time and know the ideas of. So, playing on the internet is kind of a different method. I'm thinking about, like, Roll20 is one I've used before, but I know there's lots of other systems out there now. But it's about having a system that I can, like, upload. What the fuck's taking this game so long? But about, like, having a system that I can put stuff into, like, information into, and hold kit onto. Yeah, so I know Roll20 does that. So I've got maps to draw, I've got briefs to write, and this is where having the machine god, otherwise known as ChatGPT, has been incredibly fucking useful, because I can get ChatGPT to write a lot of it. And I just tell it what I want, and then it will spit out a result. I then take that result and edit it to fit exactly what it is I've got written down on paper, and that saves me about 3 hours of typing, which is the best. It also, writes it better than I can, because ChatGPT, unlike me, can write in actual, like, good English. So, But yeah, once I've got all that good, I can then start taking attendance. I know I've already got a handful of people who are already up, both online and in real life. I've got a couple of players that I've held on to, who we do like to play with, but we've lost a number of people over the years. So our group for playing is now down to, like, 3. It used to be 8, but we've just lost people as we went. Which, happens, it's life. So I've got a couple of people I can bring in real life. I've got a couple of people online that have said they're up for it, which has already brought us up to 5, including myself. It's yeah. Indeed, yeah, just D&D and stuff. Whilst I'm waiting for this to fucking get through. But yeah. No, so like I say, I used to have a big group, and you know, people moved on. People went to uni. Was the big one. You know, and so we lost. I think we lost 2 people to uni because that was about the age we started playing. One guy we just kind of fell out of contact with. Another one, Carve. You know, that was a personal disagreement, which led to us no longer talking. So you know, we don't play D&D with him naturally. So just as life progresses, you lose people. You know. So playing physical TTRPGs gets difficult unless you want to like go to a game shop. Hey, here we go. Unless you want to go to a game shop and sign up for their lists, which, you know, there is a fairly strong population around by me. You know what I mean? It spat me out back in town.
Not while I'm in town.
Huh. I mean, luckily I'd already finished the quest, so it was not that much of a issue. But we'll go back to Margrave. But yeah, so yeah, I could sign up for that, but I found that finding people from the outside is obviously it's a mixed bag, right? It's for the same reasons that like playing Overwatch solo is difficult, because you're now having to play with people you've never met before and having to actually like keep up with them, which is something, which is a process.
So you have. I can smell it from here.
I apparently lit the brazier.
I wish I could have seen the flames dance. The light shines through you, Wanderer.
Remote public servers. Yeah, same shit. And, it's always going to be difficult, you know. Because you do get just some people who are just antagonistic pricks. Legacies of the Light's Watch. Where did we get that from? That's the campaign. Priority quests. Upgrade an item. Speak with Oroka. Well, we should probably go do that at some point. Actually, whilst we're in town, before we get started on another thing, let's go do that. But this is what I mean. Like, no, just having to interact with random people in such an environment is difficult because you do get dickheads. You know what I mean? And they just show up and they think they know what they're doing, and they think they know the rules, and like getting a random rules. I used to have to play with a rules lawyer, and rules lawyers are just, oh my god, because they miss the first and most important rule, which is the DM is always right. The sort of a quiz happening? Yeah, it's happening in a little under an hour. That's actually, I've just noticed I've got the this is the shop U4 head. Okay, let's actually upgrade a weapon, upgrade something, because we do need to do that. Wood. Yay. Remember, I've got those, so, and then potions. Where is Litka? She's just there. Oop. You. No, you. You, please. Wait, was that it? Speak with Varroka, you fucking idiot. It's never complete. Yeah, that's because it's PDX, Justin, and PDX tends to breed those kinds of people, Justin. And if you think that those kind of people don't exist when you go online to find them, and find, you know, these rules lawyers and these technicality breeding assholes, then I'm sorry to tell you, Justin, but you are that person. They're endemic. You find them everywhere, and a Paradox is a natural place for them to gather because it's very rules heavy, it's very RP heavy. Thank God they exist. It depends. Sometimes they're good, a lot of the time they're not. So, you know, because when it comes to that sort of thing, when it comes to D&D especially, they literally say it in the player's manual and they say it in the DM's guide. Literally, it says it is largely down to interpretation, and it is up to you how you want to run your game. So, rule 1. DM is always right. If the DM makes a ruling, that's the ruling the DM has chosen to go with, and he's got his reasons. Now, that doesn't necessarily make it that his decision, every decision is a good one, but it means that he has the right to do so. So if you then proceed to, everyone should read Chapter 8 of the DMG, dude, yeah, if everyone read Chapter 8 of the DMG, which I believe is, I'm trying to remember exactly which page, I'm on 3.5, which is structured differently, but I know the chapter you're referring to. It's literally just like, it is largely down to interpretation, and I especially tend to be very rules as interpreted rather than rules as written. So, you know, I use the rules. It's the difference between rules in multiplayer and 5 guys at a table trying to have fun. Exactly right. Like, obviously the rules are important. The rules are there to provide a framework. And especially in combat, you know, how are you supposed to do combat without evolving into a little kid saying, yeah, but I can't do this because I've got invisible armor. You know what I mean? But yeah, the rules are very important, especially in combat, to determine how one actually plays the game. But when it comes to stuff outside of that, I'm very fluid. You know what I mean? Like, there obviously, alignment is something I tend to have to get it's very difficult to play around. Alignment is hard. Especially, like, around, like, oh god. My pop shield's deciding to rebel against me. There we go. But yeah. And as full well, I ruined a complete campaign by being the rule lawyer. Yeah. It's especially when they're clearly trying to exploit a rule to try and get one over. Yeah, table trust is so important. It really, really is. It really is. Like, if you're actively trying to take advantage of a very niche rule simply to undermine the DM's ruling, I have sent people out for that. Like, dead ass, I have sent people from the table for it. When I as a DM say that there is no need to trust that this is the way forward, say no, they need to trust the way forward. This is what I mean, and then discuss after. Well, this is what I mean, right? It depends on why the DM is making that ruling, you know. Because another thing is that it's not just down to the players. If the DM is deciding to take advantage of the rules, largely just to be a dick to his players. I've played under and have met many DMs who do that. That's fine. I've met many DMs who do that, who use this sense of power that they've got as the leader of the table to just make the lives of the people that they're playing with miserable, and they draw some level of enjoyment out of that. To which I say, you are a dick and you are actively damaging the hobby. Please fuck off. I mean, like, we're here to have a good time. We are. It's a group. Like, these people have committed time to play with you, and D&D's not a short thing. You have to commit quite a bit of time to it. So they've sacrificed, often it's on a day off as well. Like, they've sacrificed like 4, 5, 6 hours of their day off just to play with your dumb ass. This is what they're doing for fun on their weekend. Don't be a twat and use it to feed your fragile ego. Eh? Like, I've met so many cunts who do that. Holy shit. And like, I've played in people's games like that, largely because I've noticed that this is how they are, and I proceed to ruin their day because I disagree so strongly with what they're doing, you know? Like, when it is a DM who is just being a prick, and I've had players complain to me, no, I'll join on. I will join on as I have a character specifically for fucking with people. He's gone through a few design iterations, but he is Asmodai. And Asmodai's whole roleplay thing is that he is just a kill-crazy, hyper-religious bastard whose whole job it is to ruin the DM's day. Because all of his, like, he has access to, spell domains such as War, and Glory, and Sun, which is all spells that are basically always useful. But a lot of the spells I take are stuff like, I can't remember the name of it, but it's a magical bonus to Intimidation. And the amount of interactions I've managed to fuck with purely by casting that on myself, rolling with my strength, which is also ungodly high for a fucking cleric, and then being like, yeah, so that's aggregate 26 against a halfling, and I am a 6'5" bald man with a hood and a very large sword with divine assistance and intimidation. Go on, tell me I'm wrong. I'm gonna say, you're gonna tell me that this halfling clerk is somehow like some ex-general who just immune to all forms of intimidation? Now, halflings do have Dauntless, but it's not enough to overcome that. If they then say no, I know full well they're just saying no because they want to annoy me. At which point, that's when I break out the rules manual and be like, okay, what's the DC on him then? You know what I mean? And I have rules lawyered asshole DMs because there is a place for it. So, yeah, and the rules lawyers are there primarily to hold bad DMs to account. The problem is when you do it against a DM who is making these rulings so that people can have fun. You know, that's where people stop having fun. And you know, once again, that's the thing with TTRPGs. But yeah, yeah, like I say, I'm getting mine up, and I'm gonna get all my stuff online. Oh, noted. I've got all my stuff on. Once I get all my written stuff online, I can actually start running my games. At which point, I can take attendance for who does and doesn't want to play. I've also got to decide on a edition as well, which gets difficult. Because I think most people these days play 5th. Top tier rant, by the way. Ah, yeah, it doesn't take much for me to go on one. I'm gonna go make some dinner, set up a stream, and be back for that. Okay, cool. I'll see you in a bit, boy. To be fair, we are getting close. So I might do the same, but what I will do instead, I'm gonna do this instead. Do that, and then we'll step out for the step out for food, and then we'll get on with the return of Shisabella, I think. I don't care what the text says. I'm in a fight. There you go. Claws the size of daggers. Goes in the military rank. Well, it depends. Oh, shut up, Justin. Okay, give me the. There we go. Isn't anything on it anyway? Fuck's sake. Zip. Okay. Can't remember that my potions are now bigger, but to be honest, I wasn't having a problem with my potions to begin with. Zip. So make sure I keep that crit bonus up.
I'm out of mana.
If I just kind of back off incrementally and do it, I can generally get away with it, like so. There you go. Yeah, I'm going to start taking points in I've actually got a point. I'm going to start taking points in this to increase my mana. It's only 3, but I feel like I need it. Off instantly full. I feel like that potions upgrade is something you do need to kind of keep an eye on, because if you let it slip, your potions will suddenly stop keeping you alive, and you'll wonder why you're dying to bosses all the time. Hey. That was the lamest ambush I've ever seen. They just kind of started growling at me from the wall.
I'm low on precious mana.
I'm actually kind of a fan that smoke effect does actually obscure them a bit. I think I glitched them out by running too far away. Yeah, there, another one in there. Yeah. Yeah, so we'll carve our way to here. We'll see how long it's going to take me, and then we'll make a decision. Because I do also need to do food before we get into the return of Chisabella. Was this guy just waiting for me? I believe that's a barbarian. He's dual wielding, but he's got two big weapons on his back, which is an interesting choice. I will say. That's actually really good. Zip. Oh, arsonist. I don't know why I'm reading that as antagonist. collect enemy souls. Okay. So I've just got to run over them and they run to the jar. Okay. So right, keeping them together, as it were. Just avoided that. Yeah, okay, I must remember I can actually jump through shit. Come on. Don't work with me now. I feel like he's not picking these souls up as he's killing them. Ah, man. Didn't get the mastery. There. That's why he's got a fucking big arsonist there. Also, I've been left on my own, it seems. I guess he bailed the moment he realized we're not going to get that mastery. Oh no, he's just there. Okay. Wonder what the hell he was doing. Yeah, just an iron staff, nothing too huge. I mean, that does improve my my damage a bit. That seems to be the way with two-handed weapons. I mean, the drip is increasing, but we're still not there yet. From the fucking godly figure that you can cut in 3. No, come on out. I guess the zone hadn't loaded in yet. Oh, okay. So, new zone then.
This damn cold chews me to my bones. Can't wait to get out of here.
How you're wearing like 6 pounds of kit.
The knights are willing to teach us a few tricks, which have come in handy.
I'll take the heal. I think these are all new side quests. What kind of services do you provide? Yeah.
I provide a steady supply of, shall we say, specimens for the clergy nearby. However, their desire for knowledge has become more dangerous to satisfy.
Yeah, I tend to find that with people who want dead bodies.
Of intact ghoul hearts from the surrounding area. There's something special about the ravenous dead nearby. They can reanimate with only a few drops of blood.
It tells me they've been engineered.
I and retrieve these myself, but I'm more accustomed to dealing with the fully dead. Your discretion is appreciated, of course, and you will be rewarded.
I have a feeling a lot of these quests would just be like, go out into the local area and kill shit. Yeah, I think we'll do this, and I'm... This beta's only up for the weekend, so this will probably be the only Diablo 4 stream I do until it releases, in which case we shall...
That nuisance of a child both. Girl's been nagging.
I'm going to work out how long the average playthrough of Diablo 3 takes, convert that into how many streams on average it'll take, then divide that by number of streams per week, and that'll tell me how many weeks in advance I need to start that to be ready for Diablo 4. But yeah, I'll say this was actually a great deal of fun. So I think I will play this because I think we've got a half-hour warning now. I don't think I'll. I'm thinking about whether or not I should like stop the stream or keep it rolling for a half hour, like in the getting some food mode. No, honestly, I think I want to keep them a separate section, so I think I will stop it. But yeah, I think I will play this when it comes out, and then we'll do some Diablo on the run-up. Now, I need to find out how long that run-up's gonna be. But yeah, I just have to go do some quick maths. We still have a couple of months. It's like start of June that this comes out. We're at the end of March. Yeah. So we got time. Are you joining for the co-op stream then? Yeah. So So yeah, I think I will axe this here, make it its own section. I mean, we're basically 2 hours on the dot, so I think that went well. And then yeah, in about a half hour, myself and Chris will be on for the Sword Talk co-op stream. Yeah. But yeah, thank you for joining me. That was actually quite a bit of fun, and Diablo 4 is actually looking pretty good, which I don't mean to sound incredulous about, but I am pleased with, because look, Mans liked Blizzard. Mans was one of the Blizzard fanboys back in the day, and then they went through their fall from grace, and it was sucky. But I'm happy to see them come back. But I must admit, I did. Meant for the co-op. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, well, when we get to that point, we can do that. But yeah. Either way. Yeah, I hope everyone's having everyone has fun, and I think I'll be back in like a half hour, honestly, simply so I can address food. Okay, right. In a moment.